What's up everyone, welcome to my 8th C++ tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be talking about how to make your own user-defined functions. Now as you can see in this first function we have here, all we have is a basic function that we need in every program, every C++ program, but what if we want to make our own function? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do today, and it's really easy and one of the most useful things that we can learn. So pay attention and I'll teach you. The first thing that we want to do when making our own function is provide a function prototype. And what this does is pretty much describe the C++ that it's going to be saying, hey, we're going to be making our own function. So first you type void and then type the name of your function. I'm going to name mine my fun, and then after that describe what kind of function it is. And mine is an integer function, so that's what I'm going to put. So again, all this does is tell C++, alright, we're going to be making a function sooner or later, and it's going to be called myFun. And typically whenever you put these in, they go above the int main. It goes above your main function just so C++ knows just what common practice. Now as you can see, here is one function that we've been working on, but we want to create a whole another one of these. So let's press enter a couple times below that and let's get to work. The first thing we want to do is define the function and pretty much make the function. So type void myFun because this is the name of our function. Then in our parentheses we want to type int x. And what this says is we're going to, in our function, in the body of our function like this, we're going to have one variable and it's going to be called x, and it's going to be an integer variable. So whenever we make this function, watch out for a variable, know that we're going to be using it, and know that it's going to be named x. So now that we gave C++ our instructions, tell it what to prepare for, let's start making this function. So in my curly braces, the first thing we're going to want to do, as with most of our function, is use using namespace std, and it's just going to say follow the standard rules. And the next thing we're going to want to do is actually build our function. And all this function is going to do, you can do yours however you like. I'm just going to make mine output on the screen. My favorite number is, let me move this over so you can see it a little bit. Then I'm going to put x, x. And why did I put x? Because that's the variable I said it was going to use. And then I'm just going to end the line. So this is one of the smallest, easiest functions you'll ever see in your entire C++ life. What this does is take a variable and say, my favorite number is x. But what exactly is the value of x? Well, we didn't tell C++ what it is yet, so that's what we're going to do now. What we're going to do now is actually do something called call our function. And to do this, type in your function name, myFun, and in the parentheses or parameters, type in whatever value you want x to be. In this example, I'm going to type 45. So now, what this is saying is, alright, let's run this function. Use namespace, myFun, but it's going to say, alright, what is myFun? Well, when you get to this line, C++, right, my favorite number is whatever's in the parentheses, 45, then end the line. And then you can continue with the rest of your code. So we got this function, we're going to run this using namespace, do the myFun function, whatever that is, then you continue with the rest of your code. So let's go ahead and save this, compile and run. Hopefully I don't have any errors. Oops, I do. Hold on one second while I fix this. Alright, here's my error. I accidentally had a semicolon before the function name, so let's just go ahead and delete that and save it. And just to tell you guys, just to show you guys, if you're using this with errors, it says if you compile and you have errors, it'll show right down here. So it said expected unqualified semicolon before the token, and that's what this is. So you don't need a semicolon after your function's name. I just put that because of habit. So let's save this, compile and run. I won't have any errors now. Now it says my favorite number is 45. Press any key to continue. And again, what it did was run my fun. My favorite number is, and then it looked right here for X. And another thing you can do, if you don't want to just tell C++ what your number is, you can declare a variable. Let's name it year num, and then we can write, if we want to enter our own input, your num, and then run the function, my function, with the your num. Make sure I have all my semicolons in. And now what we do is declare our own variable that's an integer. We're going to say, alright, ask us for our favorite number, and then once we tell you, we want you to run my function and say my favorite number is X, and X is going to be whatever your number is. So let's save this and execute, compile and run, and let's just type in 25, and now it says my favorite number is 25. And that's one way you can get input from the user to use their values or variables in a function. So study this tutorials, and those are two ways that you can use user-defined functions, either by entering your own input or getting input from the user. And remember to add your semicolons and not after when you're defining the function. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorials, and remember to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.